Doing? Welcome to Totally Beads. It's Friday. I'm going to be making with you today some little macrame bracelets. We've got some lovely little message rings that you can choose whichever message you would like, and you can add them to your lovely coloured Rattail. We're using some nice miracle beads as well, so very, very pretty. They're lovely, soft kind of pastel-y colours. Really, really lovely gifts. You're getting 2 pieces, I think, of your message ring, and your kit should probably make up, you've got enough to make at least 4 bracelets. So keep one, gift one. I've named them Ruth after our lovely Ruth in the group, but they are, of course, friendship bracelets, which is what Ruth means as a name. So I think they're really lovely to do. All ages can wear these. They are kind of a one size fits all because we're going to be doing that little sliding clasp along the back, so you can make them adjustable. And they are very pretty, but we do have limited stock in, I think it's the lilac. So if you want these, I would implore you and encourage you to get them quickly. I'm going to say hello and good morning to you all. I've got lots of you in already. And then I'm going to head over to the website so you can see the bargains that we've got for you today. And then we're going to get making. It won't take us too long. I think the longest thing will be just choosing which colour and what message ring you would like in your kits today. So good morning to Alison. She was first in today, Rachel. She beat you. Good morning to Rachel. Hello to Star. Good morning to Judith. Judith says, good morning, Natalie and everyone. It's not as bright and sunny in West Lothian as we had been expecting. No, it's dull and overcast here again today in the northwest of England, and very likely probably to rain. I think it's been raining already this morning, but it just looks dull and dreary. Good morning to Trish. Hello to Camille. Good morning to Francis. Francis says, good morning, everyone, from a beautiful sunny Perth. So it is nice somewhere. It is in Perth anyway. Good morning to Lucy. Hello to Charlotte, who says, good morning, Natalie and everybody. Kieran's in and says, looking forward to this. Thank you for joining us. Janice says, good morning all. Nice to see the sun's in Swansea as well. Joy says, good morning to everybody in a wet Peterborough. So a day to stay in Bede. Good morning to Diane. Hello to Teresa. Hello to Tracy and Anna. I've got a Facebook user in as well, I'm not sure who, but hello to you. Good morning to Celia. She's already ordered her kits. Snuffy's in as well. Said, oh, YouTube's cut off a lot of the start today. I've literally just started, so hopefully you've not missed anything anyway. She says, hi all, already ordered everything, including lots of extra rings. These are going to sell very quickly, I think, today. We did have limited stock on the lilac. We've had to replenish the stock on the cream, so I won't keep chatting too long because I'll get over to the website for you. Gwen is in. Diane says there's no rain in Manchester. Joanne's in as well. She says, good morning, Natalie, and all. Dull and damp in Coventry today. Great day for crafting. Oh, Camille's a Facebook user as well. She says hello. And Kim K's in saying good morning to all you lovely beaders. Right, let's go over to the website. Let's see what's left, shall we? Head over to totallybeads.co.uk and this is where you will find your kits. So head into the video tutorial section and you can see all the lovely things that we've been making. And today is the Ruth Spiral Macrame Message Bracelet. Usually when I do macrame bracelets, I do a few different designs, but it's usually around that square knot. Today I'm going to show you the spiral knot technique. It's really, really easy. We're just creating continuous half knots essentially of that square knot. If you've never done macrame before, you'll probably not have a clue what I'm talking about, so I will explain it, but it creates this lovely spiral effect. So you can see we've got 4 different colours for you to choose from today. The lilac has now gone out of stock. I was told it was limited, so I don't know whether that can be replenished. I'm thinking not. So we've got a beautiful baby blue, baby pink, cream, and some of you will have had your hands on the lilac already. They are only £3.50 today, and I'm pretty sure you make at least 4 bracelets. You'll have enough miracle beads to make 4 bracelets anyway. But again, you can add your beads in as sparingly or as an abundance as you want. So if you wanted to use less, I think I've used 10 10 beads in total on the main frame of the bracelet, and then I've put some on the ends as well as little tassels. You don't have to include the ones on the tassels if you want to get more out of your kit. You're getting a full hank of that Rattail, so there's going to be plenty there. And again, you can make them as large or as small as you want. You will be able to adjust them using that sliding knot clasp. So here are your colours. And then what I will do is I will show you the message rings. I'll show you those first. So you can choose, I think you get 2 pieces in all of these. We've got lovely heart-shaped ones, which has got a few different words on it. You can have joy, peace, love, believe, love, hope. We've got some with the same words on as well. So some of them have the words stamped 3 times on them, and they're on the reverse as well. So it doesn't matter which way you attach them. We've got some with just the 2 words, the same word written in around that ring twice. So we've got dream, faith, forever, happiness, hope, joy, kindness, memories, miracles, music, peace, respect, spirit, strength, survivor, trust, unity, wisdom, and wish. There's lots for you to choose from there. I had a little chat with Simon and I said, look, I've put these together. I don't want to say you must have hope if you're using the baby blue. You need to have happiness if you're doing the baby pink. I wanted you to be able to choose what message means the most to you and what you want to include in that. We've also got a 3 for 2 offer on those as well today. So for example, if I go into spirit, they are £1. You've got your dimensions there with your centre hole really, really wide and lovely, but fits beautifully on the top of all wrists. And you're getting 2 pieces in your bag, but you might want to mix them up. You might not want just spirit. You might want to get 3 different types of messages, and you've got that 3 for 2 on. Obviously, there's 2 pieces in your bag as well. And I just thought they make a nice little focal part on what is quite a straightforward and simple make of a bracelet. They're also really good if you've got young people who are off with you for the holidays and are wanting to do a little bit of crafting. This is all done with your hands. I'm using a large eye needle just to thread those beads on to begin with, and a little bit of glue or clear nail varnish to seal those ends. Everything else is just done by hand, so you're not going to need anything really. I am going to use my Macrame board today because it's really handy and that's what it's for, but you don't have to have one of them. You can use a little box lid or whatever you want. I know our Camille likes to use a clipboard. Whatever you've got to hand will suffice. So I'll show you quickly the colours of your gorgeous Rattail and the beads. So in your kit, which is £3.50, you're making 4 bracelets. You've got your Rattail and your beads, so you need to choose your extra choice of your message ring, which you can do so on that page where I've just showed you. And your miracle beads that we're using today are 6mm, and the Rattail cord is 1mm. So it's really nice. It's got that lovely silky soft feel, so your knots just slip into place really, really easy, but it's very, very strong and nice to work with. So in your kit, this is what you're getting. You're getting your light blue 6mm rounds, and you're in the miracle beads, and you're getting your Rattail cord as well. So this one I've popped with the hope, so you can see there's 3 words, the words written 3 times on that ring, and you can move them and slide that around as well, so you can position it how you want to. But you can see here we're just using a lovely little spiral knot which just frames around the beads. So that one is your baby blue. We've got your baby pink, which is very, very pretty. Really easy to secure, very nice to make. Do need to trim that a little bit closer, which I hadn't done at the time. You see, sometimes you only notice things when you take a photograph of it and you see it really large on a website with a magnifying glass. Thanks for that, Totally Beads. That one is your baby pink. Your cream is only £3.50. Again, you're going to be making up 4 bracelets. I love the colour of this. I'm using with that the gold miracle beads. They are a very soft gold because the miracle beads have kind of got that kind of cat's eye kind of chatoyancy, I think is the word, where the light kind of bounces off it. They're beautiful. They are called miracle beads, I think, because it looks like they've got a little bead inside them, the way they catch the light. They're very, very pretty. I know a lot of you are big fans of the miracle beads. So we've added those in there for you. So I've chose Peace for that, but again, you can choose whichever you want. And then we've got the lilac. I am going to show you it. It is showing as out of stock, but I know some of you will have bought it this morning. So this one I've done with Kindness. And again, exactly the same technique, just to create that little spiral and that sliding knot at the back to make it adjustable. These are your colours. They look quite washed out, those colours on the picture. They are, I would say, more of a purple, but they are called lilac. Obviously, it does depend how the light catches them, but I'll show you them down on the mat so you can see how they actually look in front of you. So I hope you like the kits today. They're really straightforward to make. £3.50 for making 4 bracelets and all of those little charms that you would like to choose and add into your kit. So thank you to Simon for putting those together for us. I think it's really nice to give you the option to choose which ring you would like, because we got loads of them. And obviously, if I was to sit and make up a bracelet with every single one of them, we probably wouldn't have any Rattail left for you to, to take them with as well. So they are your lovely Ruth Macrame bracelets today. I'm just going to go back up and see if I've missed anything in the comments. Mina's in, good morning. She's in cloudy Leicester. Elaine says good morning to everybody. Mina's watching on Facebook. Lucy shared the link for you today, so you should be able to click here into your kits. We are totallybeads.co.uk/jewelry-making/Facebook-tutorials /Ruth Spiral Macrame message bracelets today for you. Mina's now saying the lilac's out of stock. I was told it was limited, so I don't think we're going to be able to add any more in, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. Star says they're beautiful and they're a bargain. Joanne is loving the baby blue. Diane's also saying the lilac are all gone. They are, I'm afraid. Celia says she ordered and got there early, so she's got one of the lilac ones. Well done to you, Celia. Bridget's in. Hi. Oh, sorry. Birgit's in. Hello, Birgit. She says, good morning, everybody from a rainy Germany. Hello to you, my love. Mina says, tip, if you've got a plastic reel left from wire, use it to put the Rattail cord in. It does not tangle. That's a really, really good shout, Mina, because I always get entangled. I'm like, it looks like a kitten's been playing with it after I've unravelled my hank. I find one end and I pull it and then create a big like ball and a knot over the other side. So that is a very good tip. I think it was Hazel who messaged me as well this week asking, what is it that you use when you take the photographs to keep your bracelets stood up? And they're nothing special. They're just really handy to use. These, I think, are what Mina's referring to. They're just like little kind of plastic covers that go over the reels of wire sometimes you get, but because they're quite clear and transparent, they hold my bracelets up for photographing. So another tip for you. Good morning to Sheila. She says, good morning, everybody. I like the look of these bracelets. Good morning to Angela. Robin says, hello to all. She's waving everybody. And she says, morning, Lady Natalie. She almost overslept. 5 a.m. here in New Jersey, USA. Loving the Macrame makes. You've not overslept, have you? 5 a.m. Robin, thank you so much for getting up so early to be with us. It's really lovely of you to do so. Diane says the lilac's all sold out, and she's checked with Simon. It has, Diane. Yeah, thank you though for that. Alumni's in. Hello to you, my lovely. Mina's saying she's glad she's got some of the lilac Rattail in her stash because it's a lovely colour. Camille says they're all lovely colours. Everyone's having a little chit chat about which colours they like. Angela says, Ruth is my middle name. So even if you don't make an Angela, I have something. We will be making an Angela, I'm sure, because I've checked and I don't think we've done it before. It will probably be nearer to Christmas, I think. But if you would like a make named after you, then please do drop me a little message just saying me, and I will add your name to my list. So today's is Ruth. Mina says, Lucy, get Simon to add a rainbow cord. I don't know if we've got rainbow cord. If we have, Mina, I've not seen it, and I'd have probably put that in as well. Maybe we need to order some of that in. Anne's gone for the cream. Oh, it's not those that you're referring to. What reels are you referring to, Mina, then, for the bracelet holders? Send me a message later and let me see, because I do need to pick up on that tip. Julie's in. Hello to you. Oh, she's going to put a photo on the group later. Thanks, Mina. Good morning to Angel. She says, nice and bright here. Oh, and Diane's asked Simon to put a rainbow cord update. I didn't know we had rainbow. How do you know what we've got in and I don't? Anne wants us to make an Anne. Anne, that's my middle name, and it's spelled the same. So yes, if we haven't already done one, we shall. Okay, I'm going to take you down on the mat now, and I'm going to show you these lovely little bracelets. Mina says Lucy and I bought them. Oh, I missed that. Okay, so this is your baby pink. So I'm just threading that cord around really easily to secure that in place, but you can move it a little bit if you want to adjust it into position. If I've got the message ring with the word written on it twice, then I'm trying to position it in the middle, but you'll see there'll be some which have got it written on 3 times. So you will probably just cover that, or you can slide it forward a little bit if you prefer. This one is the cream. It is written front and back, those messages, so it doesn't matter which way you pick them up. This was the must-have lilac. You can see it is a lilac. It looks a little bit more washed out on the photograph, but if I can show you the miracle beads, can you see the way the light catches that? You can see my ring light in the top of this, and it just creates kind of a halo around it. So it's not transparent, but it is so reflective. It looks like a bead inside a bead. So that one is your lilac, and this is your baby blue. I'm creating that little sliding clasp. So I can open this bracelet up all the way down to where those beads go. So you can see here, you can make them really, really large. They're going to fit everybody. So as I say, it's a good one for making for children and for fairs. I've just pulled those beads off. I didn't tie that knot on. But you can see you can take off your beads. You don't have to have the beads if you don't want to. Well, I hadn't tried this bracelet out. I'm going to take that bead off as well. Double knot your beads at the end. So you can see you can just slide that up and down and make them nice and large, and they open out really easily. And then you can put them on with ease as well. So if you were to double knot your beads, you can just hold on to those, give it a little pull to tighten it up. Debbie says, morning, I think gemstone beads too. You could do whatever beads you wanted with this. What's good with the miracle beads is they do have a nice large hole inside of them. If I can hold that up, so you can see if I'm using that 1mm Rattail, I can get 2 of those cords through that hole with no problem. I do use a large eye needle just to pull it through. I haven't prepped my ends on this. Usually with Rattail, I'd be coating the ends in like a little bit of nail varnish, and then not necessarily to stop it fraying, but to just stiffen it up a little bit so I can thread on with it and use it like a needle. And then I'd give it a little trim when that glue or clear nail varnish is dried into kind of like a needle tip finish. I haven't needed to do that with these because the miracle beads have got that lovely large hole. Debbie says she's never used miracle beads. They're really lovely. They come in lots and lots of colours, lots of different sizes. I'm using the 6mm here. I'm trying to get a little bit focus. There you go. So you can see they've got that lovely kind of shimmery kind of effect to them. So to start off, I'm going to cut my 2 lengths of the Rattail. Now what I want in terms of length is I want it to be twice the size of my bracelet, because I'm going to be doubling over this thread. And then I want to add maybe 1 inch or 2 at the end, just to make sure I've got enough that I can play about with in terms of that those dangling kind of beads and that sliding clasp. So you might want to cut about 20 inches per length for that. It really doesn't matter as long as you've got more than a bracelet's length. So I'm just going to double over both of those like this. And when I attach it onto my message ring, I'm just going to make sure I attach them the same way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my ring over the little bend and lift my cord up. And then I'm going to take the two ends and I'm going to put them through that little loop and pull down. And then the same with the other. So I've doubled it over. I'm going to put the loop through the hole in the message ring. I'm going to bring those two ends up through that hole and pull it tight. So this is just making it attached in the same way. You can flip it over and you can use this side so you can see the knots look like this. And it's just pulled together, or if you want, you can do it that way. It really doesn't matter. I just want it on the same way. So I want those knots going in the same direction. Camille says the Oriental splash beads would look great too. You're loving them at the minute, aren't you, Camille? You can use whatever beads you want. You just, I say, I've chose the miracle beads because I think they look beautiful against the Rattail. I think they're like a perfect match. As long as that hole in the bead is large enough to get whatever Rattail you're using through, then it doesn't matter too much. They are very versatile. So I've attached my ring like this. I'm now going to get my macrame board and I'm going to slide it on. I've just popped a little pin to hold it in place at the top, but you can thread it through the holes in the board. I've flipped my board round so you're not going to be distracted by the lines, but if you do have a macrame board like I have, you'll see it's usually got this kind of grid on, which is good to work out the size and the lengths if you're creating so many kind of centimeters of your square knot or your spiral knot. I'm just going to count mine today. I've also put it horizontally rather than vertical because I'm making a bracelet, so I'm only going to need so much of this length. I'm going to take those two. So now each one of my threads essentially got two threads to play with, but I'm going to use these as one. So this is going to be my holding cord. So I'm just going to slide on my beads. So I'm going to use 5 of the miracle beads on each side. And I'm going to attach my miracle beads onto both of the threads. Now, if I'd done my ends and I'd prepped them, I'd be able probably to just squeeze that really easily through the bead. So I haven't prepped it, but you can see I've still got that large hole, so it will go through quite easily. But I am going to get a little large eye needle. That's kind of like is that an oxymoron? A little large eye needle. It's not a massive one, but it's got that large eye hole in it, which means my needle hole goes from one end all the way to the other. So it's just nice and easy to get my thread through. I'm not fiddling about with it. If you're using a thicker thread like this is the 1mm Rattail, then it's really good because you haven't got to poke it through a tiny little hole. So I'm threading all 5 of my miracle beads onto one of those strands. And then I'm going to take my other strand, just opening up that large eye needle, and I'm popping that through. Morning, Sharon. Good morning, Jackie. How are you doing? And I'm just going to take that needle through all 5 of the beads. So I'm using just one lot of beads. And this is why I think at this point it's good not just to use the miracle beads, but also to use the large eye needle, because what I can do is I can guide that tail of cord all the way through. So I'm just pulling it through each bead. And now I don't need my needle, I can take that off. So I'm just going to pop both of the cords into the little hole here on my board. So my board's got little foam, it's made of foam, it's got little cut-ins, little kind of etched bits into it, so I can clip my things and my cords in really, really easy. I'm now going to slide my first bead right up to the top. So I want that sitting really quite closely. Now, if you wanted, you could start your spiral knot above it. I'm going to start mine below, but it really doesn't matter. What you'll find on the bracelets that I've done is the first bead here and the last bead haven't been encased by that rattail. So you can see the ones in the middle, I've got the rattail going around it. If you want to do that on all of your beads, then just start your spiral knot above. If not, do what I've done, just slide that first one up. Now I'm going to cut another length of my rattail. I'm using about 1 metre. I want it quite long so it's easy to work with. I've just basically got one big arm span, so I've just stretched my arm out and give it a cut there. You can use less if you want to, you will have bits left over, but I always find it's much easier to work with more, and then if I need to cut it off I can do, rather than getting halfway through and running out. Sharon is saying good morning, she's just waking up. Mina's also, oh, I need to have a little look at that, shared the link for the 1mm multicolour bright 10 metre length rattail. I don't think I'm going to be able to click on that, but I'm going to be checking that out later because I'm sure that's going to be gorgeous. So if you didn't get your hands on the lilac, do check this out. This might be something you want to add into your basket instead. Thank you very much for that, Nina. So I'm going to take my metre or arm span length of rattail and I'm going to bring the two ends up together again, so I've got that little fold in the middle, and that's just making me find the centre of it. I'm then going to slide that through one of my cords, or rather two of my cords. I'm going to refer to this and work with this as one cord. So this is going to be my holding cord, and these now two, so either side, it's just one length, but I'm going to have two pieces to play with. That's going to be what I call my working cord. So if I'm doing a square knot, I'm making my P's and my Q shape, or my fours, my backwards four. And what I would do is I would alternate each side to make that square knot. If you've not done it before, do have a little look back in the past videos and I'll show you and talk you through in there how to do the square knot. To do this beautiful twisted spiral effect, I'm just going to repeat on one side. So I like to start with my Q. I'm referring it to a Q because it kind of makes that shape. It could be a backwards P, or you could look at it like that and it could be kind of like a number 4. I tend to start on this side. If you prefer to start on that side and you're going to do it this way and make your P, then that's fine. You just keep doing that side. So I will show you and talk you through it, and hopefully you'll see what I mean. So I want this rattail up close to that first miracle bead. It's going underneath and then out on either side. And then this side, so my left, is going to cross over the top of that holding cord. I'm then going to take the cord from the other side, from the right, and I'm going to bring that under and through that loop on this side. I then pull down on both of those threads, and that creates my first little knot, or half a knot. Now, if I was doing a square knot, I would take it over the other side, bring it through underneath, pull down, and I'd create, I'm going to do it and then unpick it, I'd create that square knot on both sides. But I'm making a spiral knot, so all I need to do is just continuous half knots. So sliding that back, I'm going to keep working from the same side, and I'm going to do that 10 times. So that's 1, bringing it underneath through the same loop, pulling it together. Again, making that same shape on the same side, bringing that thread through, up the loop, and pulling it together. So that's the third time I've done it. I'm going to do this 10 times each, but it's up to you how long you want to make those sections. I might go quiet while I'm counting. So you can see it's starting to make this spiral effect. If I hold that up, you can see how it's starting to run around the side. I'll keep going and you'll see how that fully works. Making my Q or my number 4, bringing it through. And keep working off that side. Now there's a good chance I will get distracted talking you through it and I might miscount. It really doesn't matter too much, but I'm trying to repeat this 10 times each time to create this lovely spiral. Now you will see my threads wanting to twist round. That's okay. You can twist it back round once you've got to that end, but keep kind of working with it, because what you're going to do is you're going to create that beautiful spiral. Thank you, Diane. You've shared that link for us for the, is that the hot pink one? Camille says, definition of happiness, watching Natalie make stuff on a Friday. Oh, bless you, that's so sweet. Facebook user says, whoops, 2 sets landed in my basket plus 3 extra rings. It's lovely to have that extra. Oh, Simon's added some purple. Okay, so if you wanted what I'm using, the lilac, and we don't have that left in stock, have a little look at the purple. That might be a really nice substitute. Thank you so much for that, Diana. Thank you, Simon. I appreciate that. So I've now added my 10 little knots, creating that gorgeous spiral. I'm now going to slide my next bead up, and then I'm just going to pretend like it's not there and carry on. So I'm going to use my thread to make my Q or my 4. The other side is going to go through, out through that hole, and that's going to go around my bead. So you can see I'm starting to kind of encase those beads. I'm just pulling it quite tight. You will get your tension nice with this. It's a beautiful thread and cord to work with. And I'm just going to keep repeating that. So it's going underneath the holding cord, up to this little loop that I've made, back out the loop and pull the ends. So that is the second. Third. Fourth. And you'll speed up with this. You will get quick at doing it. It's very straightforward. And I say it's a nice project to do with little ones. You've got no sharp needles. You've not got any wire. You don't need any tools. You're just using your hands to make these lovely effects. I think that was number 6. I could be wrong. We'll just say it was 6. 7. So you can see it's wanting to twist. I'm just still working with it, still using the same side. And then one more. So even though it's wanting to twist round, I still stay using the same side and I don't let it twist. Once I've added my knots on, I will then let it twist to the side that it wants. So I'll just bring it back through and I'm ready to add my next bead. So I'm creating those little spirals. Those beads are now being hooked. They will flip and twist, but it doesn't matter because when it's worn, it's going to look really lovely. Mina says, well, looks easy and I have to remember which side to do next. No, you don't. Now, usually when I'm doing a square knot, you can see, and it's hard to show you with this because obviously it's kind of traveling now, but you'll see you have these little like the side of the knot on that thread. That will remind me to then do the other side. So if the little knot is on this side, I will then use that side. If it's on the other side, I'll use the other side. That's how I remember. When you're doing the spiral knot, you're just continuously using that same side to work off, whichever one you've started with. If you're doing it from the left side, the right side, you're not going to do exactly the same. It's probably just going to spiral in the other direction. So if you wanted, you could do one side spiral in one way and one side spiral in the other way. But it will, if you use the same side, look like this on both. Thank you, Camille. She says, don't forget the heart and thumbs up for Natalie. I appreciate that. So when I've done 10, I'm just going to slide up the next one and I'm going to repeat until I've encased my 4 beads. I'm not encasing the last one. By encasing, I mean just popping my thread around it like so. I'm going to leave this one bare and I'm going to leave the last one bare, but you don't have to. You can do your spiral knot around it if you want to. So the first one, which would technically be half a square knot. Second, third. Now, if you're using the board with the etchings on, as in if you're using this side, you'll be able to say, I've got this amount of my spiral knot. So if you don't want to count it, you don't have to. I just find because I'm only doing 10, providing I'm not talking it through with someone, I'm not really getting that distracted. Now I'm thinking, am I up to number 5? It really doesn't matter too much, as long as you've got roughly about the same length of spiral in it. You can see there it's really wanting to twist and fight with me. I'm just going to continue with my cords on that side, and when I pull it, it will start to make that twist. Making my number 4, bringing it through, pulling it into place. So you can see it's starting to flip. Doesn't matter, as long as I'm still getting my thread through. When I pull it, it will hold it nicely in place. Thinking this one is 10. And then sliding the next one up. If you want to pull them back out to start again, that's fine. So you can see I've got this little twist, little spiral running all the way through. I think looking very pretty. It's like a little helix effect. Mina was saying she was thinking of this for younger ones who snap bracelets quickly. Yeah, I mean, I just pulled those beads off because I didn't knot them properly at the end. But they are really, really sturdy if you do them properly. You know, you've got those solid rings all the way through. So no matter how much, sorry, I'm pulling and pulling on this, and you can see no matter how much pull and tension I put on this, that's very, very strong. It's not going to snap. Camille says, my grandson's asked me to make these type for him instead of the beaded ones, as he can leave them on while he plays football and don't have to worry about taking them off each time. Yeah, they're perfect for children. And it's something nice for them to do as well with their friends, or, you know, you're going to get 2 message rings in each of the ones that you buy today. I think they're £1 for 2. And we've also got, is it a 3 for 2 offer on it as well? So you can let them choose, and you could have matching ones. So you and your best friend could both have kindness, or I think it's nice to receive a little bit of a reminder and a message, isn't it? So you might have, if you're struggling with things are getting a little on top of you, having something like hope just on your wrist as a little visual reminder. And again, you know, you can slide these around. So if you are a little bit of a fidget and want a fidget jewellery, then it works for that as well. Tamsin says, hot pink Rattail has just been added. Brilliant. Oh, we got loads of colours for you to choose from now. And Joanne says they're very sturdy bracelets. They are indeed. Okay, so this is the last one I'm encasing. I've slid my bead up to the top. I'm making my number 4. And I'm bringing my cord through. And that's going to wrap around that bead. Repeating that 10 times. So I'm bringing this thread over this one, under the holding cord, up through that loop, slide my board up a little bit and pull in. I think that's 5. I should be counting. Making that 4, bringing this tail over, under where they cross, out through the middle and pull. Do a couple more of them. So it will start to loop round. Don't worry with it. You don't have to fight with it too much. I will be able to just pull it back into place until I've done my last one. Okay, I'm going to bring that back so it's sitting nice. Now I'm going to slide up my last bead. Before I do that, if you want to, you can encase this one as well. If you're going to leave it like the first one, I'm just going to add a little bit of clear varnish or a little bit of glue. And you will find sometimes that it does change the colour depending on the colour of the Rattail you've gone for. See, with this lilac, I do tend to find that it makes it a little bit darker. If I hold that up, can you see where that seeped through? Now, it should be okay once it's dry. If you were a bit concerned that it has discoloured it, then you can just paint along your spirals in each part if you want to blend that in. I'm just putting a little bit on, not much, just where those cords kind of come out of those knots, just coating around it. And then once that's dry, I'll be able to trim it off nice and close. You can use a thread zapper with some threads. If you're using a man-made thread, then your thread zapper should work because it would usually have some kind of like plastic type coating with it, so it should fuse it closed. If you were using a natural thread, something like a hemp, then that wouldn't work with a thread zapper because there'd be nothing to melt. Essentially, it would just catch fire. So I tend to just use a little bit of clear varnish or a glue, and then I don't have to worry about it. I'm then going to slide that last bead up. What I will do just temporarily is I will cut them a little bit off, but I will be cutting that right up close when it's dry. I'm then going to take my 2 threads out of the bottom of my board, and I'm just going to do a little overhand knot. Diane says, how many twists would you do for a 5 and a 10 to teenager or 10-year-old, or are they all the same? I think you're asking Mina because Mina makes a lot of children's jewellery. If you wanted to make these smaller, Diane, you could still use your 10 knots, but maybe you might want to just pop your 4 miracle beads on or 3 miracle beads on and make that really, really small. And then you can just do a larger sliding knot at the back. So you've got your kind of circumference. Obviously, you'll be able to make them much bigger. So if I'd made this really, really tiny, then if it didn't fit when the person was wearing it, they could just wear it so this wasn't pulled fully tight to there. You've got that length to play with, not just in terms of how long you make your sliding knot, but also how long these kind of tassels are at the end. So to do my overhand knot, I'm just going to take my 2 threads. I'm going to bring that through. Oh, now I did just move my pin because I didn't think I was going to use it. Could use the needle. Just bear with me, I'm just going to get a little pin. Now you don't need the little pin, but I like to use the pin because what I'm going to do is I want that knot to be nice close to that bead. So I've left a large knot and I'm going to pop my bead into it. Now, providing I've got that little pin through that knot, I'm going to be able to make that travel. So I'm going to pop my pin through that big loop in my knot and I'm going to slide it. So you can see I can move it up and down. Can you see how I'm moving that up? I'm going to keep moving it all the way up and I'm going to keep that pin nice and close to that bead. And then when it's in the position that I want it to be, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a tighten. So I've just created a little knot just below that bead. These won't be there, they'll have been trimmed off. I'm then going to flip my bracelet round and do exactly the same on the other side. So I'll have already wrapped through. If I haven't, and this wasn't there, then just have a little look when you're knotting it on, that it's going the same way. So if I put it on this way, I'll see now that it's different. Does that make sense? So you can see that that knot's coming over the top, where on this side it's coming through. So I just want to make sure that my knots are going in the same direction. So if I haven't put them on together at the beginning, I'm just going to work off it again now. So I would give it a little flip over, put my loop through, pull my cord through. So they're going to be the same on both sides. So I'm going to use about 20 inches again of that holding cord, and then I'm going to add on my beads and I'm going to make them the same on both sides. So I will have my bracelet like this. I'm going to be able, I've got my scissors at the moment, to come in and cut really close once that's dried. I will go in and neaten that up, but I'm just going to cut close to the knot. And then I can neaten that up afterwards. And now I'm going to make my little sliding clasp. Have a lovely day, Rachel. I will catch you later. Thank you for joining us. Mina says, under 5 years, make the twist about 5 inches, and for the older ones, 6 inches spiral as you get extra cord to fit. Yeah, okay. And Camille is responding, it's your choice and it depends on the size of their wrists, more if bigger wrists. I tend to find that I like to make my macrame bracelets on the smaller side, and then I've got that room to play with that sliding knot. For this, I mean, where's my ruler? I'm going to try and measure that for you so you can see with this design how long it is already. I always try and make them like a standard size for you watching, because that way, regardless if you've got, you know, whatever size wrist you've got, you're going to have enough in your kit. So at the moment, this is measuring about 7.5 inches. So I would say that's already a good size bracelet. If you wanted to make it smaller, you can, as I say, you don't even have to add those last miracle beads on. You could just add 4 onto each. Whatever you want to do, you can play about with it. Okay, to make my sliding clasp, I'm going to take the corner of my board. I'm going to trim this a little bit more just for visual effect. I'm not cutting it too close, but enough so we're not going to get confused with what we're working with. I'm going to take the corner of my board and I'm going to slide my ends through the knot on the corner. If you haven't got a board and you're using a box lid or whatever, then just use the corner of your box lid. I'm going to put the cords so they're running one way across and then the others are running the other way across. So I've got essentially 4 cords here. they're all going to be working as one. I'm now going to cut a length. Again, I like to use more than I need, but the bits that I've cut off should be more than enough. And I'm going to slide that cord underneath all of them. This is where I'm going to do my square knot. So just like I've been doing the spiral, only I'm going to swap it over. So I'm going to make my normal shape that I've been making, my number 4 or my Q, and I'm going underneath all of those cords. Now, if I am using a box, I've got that empty space underneath, which is really good to work with. I do love the macrame boards, but you do need to just flick up your holding cords to get your working cords underneath. And I'm going to slide that and do my square knot. I'll be able to show you what I mean by swapping sides as well now. So I think it was Mina before saying she doesn't need to remember which side she's using. When you're doing a square knot, we're going to alternate. If I'm making and I forget which side I'm working on, if I can get this to focus, it's gone very blurry. You'll see there's a little kind of knot on this side. That's so I know that's the side I'm now working off. So this time I'm going to make my P shape. I'm doing exactly the same, so I'm bringing it underneath the holding cords, out through that little loop I've got here, and pulling it together. And now my knot has switched to that side where it's coming over. So now I know I'm working on that side. Some people like to pop a little dab of colour on the end of one of the threads, or even a bead, so they remember what side they're working on. I don't do that. I just look at my knot so I know whereabout it is. But I'm going to make my little slide-in knot probably about a couple of centimetres. You can make this as long as you want. This is going to be part of the main frame of your bracelet. So as long as you've got a few knots, it will work. If you want to kind of extend that length of your bracelet, then you might want to add in maybe an inch or 2. And well, I wouldn't go for 2, maybe just an inch. And then you've got that also adding a little bit of length. When I'm happy, so I'm just sliding underneath and alternating from one side to the next. When I'm happy with the size of my knots, I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to use my clear nail varnish or my glue, and I'm just going to coat that on the ends. I like using the clear nail varnish because it comes with a brush. So sometimes when you're using like hypo cement, it can be a little bit fiddly, and sometimes getting your the nozzle back on. This comes with a brush. You're just wiping off the excess, only using a little bit, and just coating the ends. Now, while that's drying, what I will do is ever so slightly, I'm just going to give it a little pull, because I don't want it to dry and seep into these holding cords so it's stiff and it doesn't move at all. I'm going to trim off only a little bit for now, but once that's dry, I will cut them close. I just want to make sure that, again, you can see what I'm doing. So these little bits won't be there when they're dry. I'll have these 2 cords, which I'm still working off, and I'll be able to pull them nice and tight as it's drying all the way up to that bead. So this is going to be the smallest it will go. This will sit in the middle like this. And now I can just play around with my tassels. I'm not going to need them that long, so I can trim if I need to. And I can just slide on a little bead onto each one, or both of them, or whatever. So what I might do is I might cut them to begin with, so I've got them about the same length. So I'm closing my bracelet up first, and I'm just going to give them a little trim. Now what you can do is you can tie a knot first, slide your bead on, and then tie another knot if you don't want them to move. So what I mean by that is I've tied a knot, slid on my bead and tied another knot, and now that bead's not going to move up or down. It's kind of fixed into position. If you wanted to have them moving, then you could just do the one at the end. So it might be easier for you to tie your knot first. Then slide on your bead. Again, you can pop them on with your large eye needle if you want to. And you can have these beads just dangling on at the end. You can have them higher up your bracelet. But where those beads will go, that'll be the widest my bracelet will open to. So if you want to put it towards the end, then you've got a little bit more length. I will just show a bit of a variation for the last minute or two of the life. Just going to gently push down on my large eye needle on both sides, just to open it up. Be careful you don't hurt your fingers. Slide my bead on, and then I'm just going to do another overhand knot. I've cut these quite short. It would have been probably easier to trim them afterwards, so I've got a little bit more room to play with. I'm going to slide that on, and I would suggest double knot it if you can, just so it doesn't go over the hole in the bead. And then I'm just going to slide that knot up. You can use that needle technique as well, excuse me, that I showed you before. If you want to, you can tie your knot above it after you've added it on. Don't know whether I'm going to have enough length to show you that, but we'll try. So I'm going to slide my bead on first. Going to tie my knot where I want it. If I want that double knot, I'm just going to go over and try and get that knot to sit on top of the last one. Then I can slide my bead down, and even if I push on that bead, it's not going to come through that knot. And then I'm going to tie again, bring in my bead through the hole in the knot that I'm making. And then I'm going to travel that knot down towards the bead. So I'm going to take my pin, put it through, and then just slide that along like so. So I'm going to do that on both sides of my bracelet. And now, if I don't tie a knot or add a bead, what will happen is as I open it, there's nothing to stop that coming off the end. If I pull it this time, in fact, I'm going to do one where I've already put the beads on. If I slide this now with the beads and the knots, that can't go anywhere. That's not going to fall off. It's going to hold on tight. So you can see just how large I can make these bracelets. And if I want to make it smaller, I'm just going to pull on those ends to draw it in together. So that's how easy they are to make. They're really comfortable to wear. They're very, very pretty. There's lots of messages for you to choose as well. And I'll take you back over to the website and I will show you. Let's see what colours we've got now on the website. Let me just see what I've missed in the comments. Hello to Natalie, how are you doing? Joy says they're beautiful. Thank you for sharing. You're most welcome. Diane says she's happy. Oh no, Mina says she's happy to help you, Diane. Charlotte says, cool bracelet. My granddaughters will love these. They're really good if you've got children off or young people off over the summer holidays. Looking out the window thinking, what summer holidays? Then these are a really good thing to keep them entertained while it's raining outside. Lucy says, pretty make. Joe says, sorry I missed it. It looks lovely. You should be sorry, Joe. I was using miracle beads. But don't worry, you can always catch us up whenever you want to. Mina agrees. She says, Joe, it was your favourite beads. I hope you're okay. So I'll take you very quickly back over to the website. We are doing Ruth's Spiral Macrame message bracelets today. I'm just going to see if I can hit refresh. Just, oh, look at those. So we've also got a silky Rattail cord in purple now for you. There's 70 meters of that. So, I mean, it's £5.50, but gosh, you'll be busy. I wonder how many bracelets you'll be able to make out of that. Probably close to, probably about 7, I think. I don't know, I'm estimating now. You've got your Rattail cord in hot pink as well. These are the ones, the baby blue is now showing is out of stock. We've got baby pink still in stock. The cream still in stock. Unfortunately, the lilac is out of stock, but again, you could always add in that purple instead. It's looking a little bit blue there. I'd like to find that rainbow cord. We've also got all those messages rings for you, which is 3 for 2. So you can choose from an abundance of different messages, and you get 2 pieces in each of your packs for only £1. Lots and lots to choose from. I quite like Wish. If I'd have seen Wish, I'd have probably chose that one. I've put together for you today, I'm using happiness, hope, peace and kindness. Lovely little 6mm miracle beads. They are £3.50, and you are making 4 bracelets in your kits today using the 1mm Rattail cord and the 6mm miracle beads. It's a little bit of a mouthful. Right, it is bob on 11 o'clock, so I've been with you an hour. Thank you so much for being with me today. I really do hope you enjoyed it. A lot of you saying that you're liking them, that you're looking forward to doing them with younger people. Pauline's with her sister. Hello to you, my lovely. She's going to watch us on playback. Kim K says they're lovely, thank you. Charlotte says they're lovely. And Mina's posted the link for the rainbow cord in the handmade group. So if you want to head over to our handmade group on Facebook, Totally Beads. Is it Handmade by Totally Beads or Totally Beads Handmade? You'll see all our lovely members sharing all their lovely makes and sharing inspiration and encouragement with each other. And it's always nice to see what you've all been up to and what you've been making. So thank you so much for joining me today. I'll be back with you on Monday. I think I'm making Heshy bead necklaces, I think, with you on Monday, which are perfect summer makes. And I keep looking out the window thinking, where is the summer? But I'll be definitely bringing the sunshine on Monday. Sheila says, love this make. Thank you. You're welcome. Mary says, gorgeous. Lucy's loving them. Star's loving them. Judith's loving them. Joanne says she's got some young girls in our family who love these. So I'm really glad you like them. As I say, you're getting 2 message rings. So it's always nice to make one and gift one, or make 2 and keep one and gift one. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you'll all have a very, very lovely weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Take care.